Welcome to episode 1.12 of Lock It In. Just got done recording the Thanksgiving Day special. Hope you guys enjoy the Thanksgiving Day special. But here we are live and not remote from Royal Oak, Michigan. Cobbs, what is popping, brother?
Yeah, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully the picks hit.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to go business as usual. Start off with the like it. And I like the Bengals plus 1.5 in Cincinnati against the Steelers. Jake Browning did not look bad when he filled in at the end of the Ravens game last week. He didn't look bad. I think the Steelers offense, I don't care they fired Matt Canada. It's terrible. They're bottom 5 offense. The game's in Cincinnati. You're getting the home team and points. I mean, I think Cincinnati has enough firepower, enough weapons. You know Pittsburgh's not scoring more than 13, 17 points. I think they have a very good chance of winning the game. I'm going with the home team.
So you're taking the Steelers?
No, I'm taking the Bengals. It's in Cincinnati.
Oh, taking the Bengals?
Yeah, Bengals plus 1.5.
So Ken Dorsey just got fired from Buffalo. They hung up 32 points, I believe, on the Jets.
Yeah, but Kenny Pickett is not Josh Allen. That's a big difference in this conversation. As much as I like George Pickens, he is not Stephon Diggs.
I agree. I mean, this game really should be with Jake Browning in at quarterback. It should be, hypothetically, Steelers favored by a lot more. The Steelers are pretty ass, but
I mean, they have a good defense. But
exactly, yeah. I kind of like that. So you're taking the Bengals then as the home team.
Yeah, I think ugly, low-scoring game, but I'm going with the playmakers.
Okay. Jacobs likes the Bengals. Clark, what do you like?
I like the Rams plus 1.5 at the Cardinals this week. They're getting Kyron Williams back. They booted Darrell Henderson off the roster nice and promptly. Puka, he's got an injured shoulder, but he's been playing through an oblique injury all season. Yeah, it seems like he's a guy who's willing to play through an injury. It's something you like to see. On the opposite side, Hollywood Brown, in the 2 weeks that Kyler has been back, he's combined 3 catches for 46 yards in 2 games. Michael Wilson's already been declared out early this week with a shoulder injury. Trey McBride might be the truth, but I'm not sure that second-year tight end is going to be enough to propel this offense to outscore the Rams. Even though they're ramping up James Conner, James Conner, I do like him, but the Rams have a top 10 run defense. I don't think he's enough of a difference maker. I like the Rams plus 1.5 a lot this week.
Yeah, I like that. I looked at taking that. The Cup injury is, I think it's pretty ambiguous right now whether he's day to day, which could be plays this week or doesn't play the rest of the season. But yeah, Puka touchdown last week. He looks good.
So speaking of that, Cobbs, you said Cooper Kupp's injury. I would like to point out we went 5-4 last week. Cobbs, you hit your anytime touchdown score.
I did. I hit Montgomery.
Montgomery scored. Clark Eckler fumbled at the goal line, and Cooper Kupp missed a wide open deep shot from Matthew.
Oh, the MVS. He pulled an MVS. It wasn't to win the game.
It was worse than MVS because he was actually not covered. It wasn't like he was, diving for the ball.
Nothing was worse. Nothing was worse than MVS. But go on.
So Cooper Kupp, he missed the touchdown. But we digress. We went 5-4 last week. We're looking for a much better record here this week, and I don't even have a like a pick here on the Google Doc, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Controversy.
I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Right this time.
Only because, like you said, it's a divisional matchup, and I mean, again, the Eagles, the Steelers fired Matt Canada, and I feel like that has to be some sort of spark for their offense, and it is Jake Browning. Obviously, the Bengals, they're a little bit banged up, but like their season is done. I think the Steelers have a lot more to play for.
But it's not done.
It is done, dude.
It's not done.
Have you seen the AFC playoff picture?
Yeah. What are they, half a game out?
With Jake Browning at quarterback.
But they have Jamar Chase. They have T. Higgins. They have Joe Mixon. Their defensive line's pretty good.
Oh, T. Higgins hasn't played in, 2 weeks?
Yeah, but he's potentially coming back.
Jamar Chase
potentially coming back, according to Zach Taylor, which means nothing.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase played last. Jamar Chase is playing.
I know he's playing, but I mean, he's not even 100%.
Regardless, it's a talented roster. I mean, they could get into the playoffs.
I'm taking the Steelers just because it's a divisional game, and I'm gonna take the Steelers defense to kind of cover against Jake Browning.
That's the most valid point of the argument.
And that the only reason I'm taking that, again, I kind of forgot to put it in the Google Doc, but we'll digress into our Love It picks. Cobbs, what do you love this?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go a different route here. I'm going to a shitty game, so I'm taking the over this time. Yeah. Titans, Panthers
Oh my
in
God.
Tennessee over 36.5. So usually I say the shitty games, I take the under. But in this case, the defenses are shitty, so I'm going to take the over. You have two young quarterbacks, Will Levis, Bryce Young, rookies. They want to see what they got in these guys, maybe open up the playbook a little bit, start to call some more down the field passes. We haven't seen Bryce Young throw the ball more than 10, 15 yards all season. Like, don't they want to see what he's got? Will Levis, gunslinger. I mean, these defenses, especially the Panthers, defense is terrible. It's 36.5 points. It's such a low number. I mean, you really only need probably 4 touchdowns for this to hit.
This is also like the number to pick it at, where it's like 36.5. If the Panthers have any sort of life on offense, that's hitting.
4 touchdowns, 3 field goals in 60 minutes of football.
I kind of like that, even though it's disgusting. You hold your nose and it's stinky, but you take the over.
It's hard to win money on good games, dude. You got to go with the shitty games.
I love that pick, and I love the Titans spread at that -3.5.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. The hook got me.
I hate the hook. I would probably buy the half point, but I do think this is a game where Derrick Henry just gets going, opens up the play action game, allows Will Levis to really just air it out.
He's looked good.
No, he looked good in the first game he played. He's looked a little rough the last 2 games, but
he looked good against the Steelers.
yeah, I no picks. That's good.
Yeah,
but
against a very good defense.
Yeah, so I do like the Titans.
Okay, -3.5 against the Panthers. I get it, but I just you don't take the Panthers in this game. But how do you just take the Titans -3.5 in any game? How are the Titans favored? How?
They're at home playing the worst team in football.
That's literally the only reason why. You don't take the Panthers, so you might as well take the Titans with that pick. I wouldn't
really low over.
I would buy the hook on that, but I mean, I don't hate that at all, Clark. I think Derrick Henry could very well eat against this Panthers defense, but I love the under in the Browns at Broncos. So these are two not so great offenses. It's literally the Big Ten West. This is almost identical to Iowa and Northwestern. The Browns just beat the Steelers 13-10, and the Browns defense obviously on an absolute heater. It's at Mile High Stadium, so it's an away game for the Browns. The Browns are covering the under at 100% as the away team. They're 4-0 in their games as an away team on the under. And I think, Russ might be back. The Broncos are starting to look hot, but it's just going to be a major defensive struggle. There's going to be no touchdowns. Bonus bet, you can bet no touchdown in the entire game. I'm thinking like 9 field goals here. You still hit the under.
Yeah, the way the Broncos play, I think Collinsworth was talking about this on Sunday night last week. He's like, they just like to run the ball and run clock and hang around and just end up with the ball at the end to kick a field goal and beat you. Like, they don't. It's not like old school gunslinging Russ.
No, not even close.
Like he was in Seattle, but it's just take care of the ball, control the field position, and have the ball at the right time to win the game. Like, I like the under for the way both these teams play, because the Browns play the same way, run the ball, rely on the defense.
Like you said, they want to hold the ball, and then Russell Wilson leads the game-winning drive to score. But fun fact, Chris Collinsworth said it on Sunday night, the only player who has more game-winning drives than Russell Wilson is Matthew Stafford.
Yes, since he got in the league.
Exactly. And so, 34.5 is probably the lowest under that we've seen all year. And this game is going to go under.
It's like the Iowa law. I mean, the Browns with a backup QB is basically Iowa of the NFL.
Yeah, with DTR, I don't trust either of those teams to put up a lot of points. So
34.5. It's at Mile High. Give me the under 34.5. That's what we like, and that's what we love. But now it's time to lock it in. I'm going to go to Clark this time here. We'll switch it up a bit. Jacobs is in person, in studio for the first time. Great to have you, Cabo. Give me some skin there. But Clark, what are you locking in this week?
I'm doing that thing you didn't like the last time. We're locking in the Ravens -3.5 at the Chargers. And this is a scary one because the Chargers just seem to lose by 3 every time.
Every time.
So I should be nervous about the hook. Buy the half point again. But I think this Ravens team is a step up from the teams that the Chargers have been losing by 3 to. I mean, they had played the Cowboys, they played the Chiefs, they played the Lions. Obviously, the Ravens beat us by a lot. I think the Ravens, even though they lost Mark Andrews, are probably a little more of a complete team than the Chiefs. I mean, it's pretty obvious they need some pass catching weapons. outside of Travis Kelce. I think they'll still be able to find a way with Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr., Nelson Aguilar, and Devin Duvernay. Somehow, I think they'll find a way because they have in the past.
Nelson Aguilar has actually been putting up points somehow.
He had one big catch last game, so I mean, maybe he can turn that into something else this next game.
The Chargers definitely find a way to lose this game, and I mean 3.5. If you buy the hook, I love that, and 3.5, you might as well lock it in because the Chargers are booty ass.
Well, their coach is terrible.
Staley needs to go.
Don't ask him any more questions, okay?
Yes, I think I said this about the Broncos and I was wrong. When they gave up the 70 points, that there was a mutiny going on because that made no sense, and it makes even less sense now that they gave up 70 points. But there probably is a mutiny with the Chargers because they probably hate that guy, and if they don't, they should because he's terrible.
He's been on my hot seat for I don't know how long. We'll get to that in the immaculate teaser, so make sure you stick around for that. Jacobs, what are you locking in this week?
Yeah, I'm locking in the under 42.5 Saints at the Falcons. So these were two popular under teams. The Saints went, I believe, 12 or 13 games in a row hitting unders going back to last season until the Jacksonville game on Thursday night, which actually turned into a really good game.
Yeah.
And then they've been in these high-scoring games since then. And same with Atlanta. They were Clark's favorite under team for a while. So I think both these teams are due to converge to the mean. Huge game for NFC South division purposes. So I think both teams want to be very careful taking care of the football, run the ball, kind of like what we talked about with some of these other games. Both respectable defenses, especially the Saints. Yep. Saints defense is still good.
Allegedly.
I've gone back and forth. They're still good. I looked it up today. They're 8th in points allowed. Still a good defense. Quarterback situation is very sus here, too. I don't know. Even if Carr plays, he's hurt. If not, you basically have two backup quarterbacks because any Falcons quarterback is a backup quarterback.
Isn't it confirmed Desmond Ridder?
Backup quarterback.
So
there you go.
Yeah,
Heineke,
right.
they're all backups.
I'm getting too technical with it. You're right.
Put Bijan in the Wildcat the whole time. That's good for the under, too. Just keep running.
They're
not scoring a lot of points in this game.
Digging into Clark's bag a little bit with the Falcons unders there. Do you also hate Arthur Smith?
I mean, I don't own Falcons players in fantasy, so I don't have these vendettas that the Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan crew has. So I don't care. But.
Real quick, Clark, I know this is putting you on the spot right here, but give me 5 seconds of what if you were in the same room as Arthur Smith, what would you say to him right now?
Ditch the sleeveless hoodies and feed Bijan.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it'd be a little bit more emphatic.
We'll do one of the two, and he's going to show up with sleeves on Sunday. That's what's going to happen.
And with a shitty stash. But shout out No Shave November. And shout out Falcons unders. Cobb's locking in under 42.5 in the Saints at Falcons. I'm going to lock in the Eagles minus 3.5 against the Bills. So the Eagles, they just had an ugly game against the Chiefs, but they find ways to win. Jalen Hurts is literally a robot on the microphone. I don't think he'll ever say anything that's controversial and or human. But regardless, I think the Bills' recency bias is back. They just beat a bad Jets team. People think Buffalo's back. They played in Buffalo. You've said it before, Cobbs. They're a different team in Buffalo. This game is in Philly. I'd buy the hook, but the Eagles are just too good. And the Bills still haven't proven to me that they can win on the road against actually good teams. So give me the Eagles minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm staying away from it, but I get it.
This slate's tough with 3 games on Thursday,
The Eagles have just looked sus in so many games.
So have the Bills, though.
Yeah. The Bills are also just a weird team, though. They'll rout Miami. That was in Buffalo, but still.
Yeah, I know. You're right, but I just
that Chiefs game. I mean, they look terrible for most of the game. The Chiefs defense is actually very good. Mm-hmm. People just start talking about it, but the Chiefs defense is very good.
I've been talking about that just because I have them in fantasy, but it was raining in that game, and I think that had a lot to do with A.J. Brown not being unlocked. But A.J. Brown, we'll get to him also later on in the show. Make sure you stick around for our props and for our anytime touchdown scores. But we liked it, we loved it, and we locked it in. Now it's time to get into our real moneymaker here of the show. Last week, we did hit 2 of the 3, and we pushed. The Chargers, they lost by 3. We bought the Chargers to +3 on the immaculate teaser. But all that means really this week is that this teaser is about to be immaculate. So, Jacobs, who do you got this week that absolutely will not lose?
Yeah, so I've got the Chiefs. You can buy down to -3.5 right now against the Raiders.
Check the Google Doc, bro.
Yeah, the brand new Raiders finally met their match last week, even though they hung in decently well against Miami.
By the
They
way,
didn't
it is.
cover.
You can buy it down to -3 on ESPN Bet. It's -9.
Okay, so if you have a good book, you can get this down to 3.
Dude, FanDuel is trash lines.
Yeah, it really does. Fuck FanDuel. FanDuel, you cannot sponsor.
Yeah,
this
don't
show.
sponsor us, FanDuel. Piece of shit.
Anyways, great get right spot for the Chiefs. I mean, really tough loss, but we were just saying they have a great defense. You're playing a rookie QB, and they're just a better team. I mean, the Raiders do usually play the Chiefs pretty close the last couple of years, which is why I would never touch this 9-point spread. But I think 3 is pretty safe. I think they'll win by a touchdown. So
yeah, I mean, it is in Las Vegas, but I again, like the Chiefs coming off that loss too on Monday night, I think they're going to absolutely try and put their best product out there, and they're just clearly better than the Raiders.
This is a matchup that I'm always looking out for, though. This Chiefs Raiders matchup. The Raiders play the Chiefs tough every time.
I agree, but
that's why you tease them down to 3, baby.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Andy Reid against a rookie coach and rookie QB. Come on.
Chiefs -3 for the Immaculate Teaser on ESPN Bet. Clark, what do you got this week for the Immaculate Teaser?
I don't even think you need to tease this one, but this one just feels super safe doing it. Texans +7.5 against the Jags.
Putting it all out on the
Stroud
line there.
boys, stand by, stand back.
There we go.
Finally, the Texans won a game without C.J. Stroud having to, just take over. The defense stepped up last week, beat the Cardinals. I think this should be a fun game, high scoring. I think there's going to be a lot of throwing, whole lot of air yards. I think the Texans are going to be able to keep it within a score, though. The Jags, they've finally turned it on a little bit. Finally getting Calvin Ridley involved. The offensive line is finally blocking. Kind of been doing that for like a month. But like I said, I like the Texans to keep it close.
Hey, am I making this up, or is this a high pressure spot for Trevor Lawrence?
I think it is.
Because
he's never beat the Texans.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I just made that up. Hopefully that's true.
That's not true. We're gonna have to cut that. Anyways,
he barely beats the Texans.
Yeah, I don't even know his track record against the Texans, but he was poised to just run this division like the new QB. Like he was going to be the 5th guy in the elite QB room, whatever. CJ Stroud just comes out of nowhere, and immediately the Texans might just take this division in his first year.
Yeah,
I mean, this could really set the tone for the future of how the AFC South is going to go.
I feel like the Texans are a team that covers, and the Jaguars, you really never know what to expect. So, I mean, this is in Jacksonville, I believe, but
no, it's in Houston.
It's in Houston.
Yeah.
This game is in Houston. It's a divisional matchup, like we said, and like again, the Jaguars, you never know what to expect, but I feel like the Texans just cover spreads, and you give them an extra 6 points. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I definitely think they're going to cover the touchdown. I mean, it's going to be a last-second field goal kind of game.
Yeah, agreed.
So Trevor Lawrence, not so great against the Texans. I don't think he's ever covered against the Texans, is what I'm thinking of. But I think to bring on home the Immaculate Teaser, what is impossible to lose is going to be the Ravens +2.5. Clark, you said it earlier. I mean, they're -3.5 right now against the Chargers. I put Brandon Staley on the hot seat like 5 weeks ago, and he's pretty much proven me right every single week, except for against the Jets, which can't even really count that one. The Ravens look dominant. They're the current number 1 seed in the AFC. And if this is even a close game whatsoever, the Chargers have shown us that they'll find a way to lose, and especially against a clearly better Ravens team. Baltimore +2.5. It's impossible to lose. You put your bankroll on that, you can feel confident, but you buy the half point, buy it to Baltimore +3. You can take a nap after the 4 o'clock games, and you can wake up around 11:30-ish, and you can wake up, look at your phone, just knowing that bet hit. Ravens +2.5. That's a lot.
I'm happy for you that you planned out your day that well. But
I
hate teasing across the zero like that, but I do think that's going to hit.
I don't understand the teasing across the zero hate, honestly.
Dude, to be honest, I just heard about it, and it just makes sense to me. It just seems like there's way more value in going from +3 to +9.
Yeah, I get
than
that.
going from -3 to +3. Because it's like if you don't cover the -3, you probably lost by 3. I don't know.
This game, though, this is one of those games where you can't confidently take the Chargers +9. The Ravens could easily blow them out. But I do not think I do not think the Ravens lose by more than 3
I
if
could
they
see
lose at all.
both sides of this one hit.
Yeah, this is
Plus
one of
sides
those
a lot
games.
for a team that always loses by 3.
Yeah. I'm still teasing the Ravens, though. I mean, the Ravens look absolutely phenomenal, and I don't know. I mean, the Chargers, they need a new head coach, to say the least. So
Yeah, I mean, now that McDaniels is out, Matt Canada's out, there's no one else to go after except for you, Brandon Staley. You're fucked.
Well, no, do not forget about Arthur Smith.
yeah, don't forget about Arthur Smith. We can still go after Arthur Smith. But that teaser's pretty immaculate, I would say so myself, and I really like that one, boys. But now it's time to wrap up the show here. We're going to get Propalicious, and we're going to go with some anytime touchdown scores. Cobb's back on the hot streak here again with those anytime touchdown scores. You hit last week. Who did you have? Montgomery?
Yeah, I had Monty last week.
Yep, David Montgomery with that nice touchdown. Who you got this week?
Yeah, so I'm going back to the get right spot, but now with the Chiefs, with A.J. Brown, you mentioned it. He was off on Monday night this week. I think he's due to, get it back going again. The Bills' secondary has been kind of suspect. I know they brought in Rasul Douglas, which has been helpful. They look better against the Jets, the Zach Wilson Jets.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know if that sample size really carries a ton of weight. Like I said, I don't love that spread. I think this game could go either way, but I think it's definitely going to be high scoring. A.J. Brown, top 5 target, probably in the entire league, and he's going to get right.
He got locked down last week, so I think he's due.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. I like Alvin Kamara to score a touchdown this week. The Falcons give up a lot of running back receptions. I know they gave up 6 to Rashad White. They give up. I looked back at it in the last 5 games. They've given up at least 5 receptions to running backs, even to like Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry had 4. Like running backs that don't catch passes against the Falcons.
Kamara eats in the reception game too.
I think that Alvin is going to be the one part of the offense that's actually reliable. For whatever reason, if Derek Carr does play, he just can't seem to find Chris Olave. Michael Thomas is injured. They're going to be forced to have to feed Alvin. So I love him to score a touchdown this week.
I think the lock of the week, just after hearing that stat, is going to be Alvin Kamara receptions.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like, 4.5?
Yeah, probably 4.
He had 13 for 40 yards one game.
The Saints offense, I don't know what it is, whether it's Drew Brees at quarterback, Jameis Winston, or Derek Carr. Just check it down to the running back. I mean, they don't have a deep threat.
Well, they do have one. It's just they can't get the ball to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it was noodle arm Drew Brees that was checking it down. Old Drew Brees. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, even what would you call Derek Carr?
the villain from Incredibles. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a reliable quarterback, so yeah. It's like the rookie QB with the tight ends theory.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Sid from Toy Story checking it down to Alvin Kamara. So, okay, Kamara to score a touchdown. I like it. And to bring it on home, I'll go with Raheem Mostert, anytime touchdown. He did not score last week. Achane, I think, was out like the majority of the game. They ruled him out for precautionary reasons. If he's out this week, I like it even more. But the Jets finally made a change at quarterback. And with the Dolphins playing the Jets on Black Friday, even though their offense still sucks, I think with the change at quarterback, you might see an improvement on their offense. And that means that the Dolphins are going to have to score points to win the game. Mostert is just due. He didn't score last week. He scores a lot of touchdowns. I like Mostert to score a touchdown this week.
Yeah, Achane highly unlikely to play because they're playing Friday at 3 against
even
the
less time to rest it up.
Yeah,
I think Achane's out, so Raheem Mostert's going to be getting the majority of the carries there.
Yeah, big fan of that.
All right, so we got Propalicious. We have our immaculate teaser. Hopefully our Thanksgiving picks hit. We'll release this right after the Thanksgiving games, but thank you for tuning in to episode 1.12 of Lock It In. I can't believe we're already at episode 1.13, but catch us next Friday for 1.13. Jacobs, will you be in town or remote for 1.13?
I'm going to be gone.
Damn it.
I'm going to be back on the screen.
Well, Jacobs, pleasure to have you in studio.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to see the other side.
All right, that's episode 1.12. Lock it in.
I already seen that movie, but I will go again with you. I got a few I've been tending to, but tonight I forgot all about them.